On the Fringe with Dan radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. We have a lot of excitement to talk about today. Strange things going on. And again, I think the timing's really strange right now. Also, have been having a weird week. And I usually when I have weird weeks, there's weird stuff coming for others. I tend to be ahead of it a little bit sometimes. I don't know. Hope I'm wrong. So just make sure you got your just prepared for whatever. I don't know. Something strange. It's just something's not right. Something's not right, and it's affecting me in a big way. We got some good things that seem to be moving, though. Yeah, and we got some weird things happening today, too. We're going to talk about the earthquake, obviously, and potential tsunami, though as of the moment of recording, there was still no tsunami yet. The earthquake was reasonably close to the shoreline, so for the tsunami to not have occurred yet, to me, seems strange. Like, it should have been pretty quick. They don't usually go out, like, way far and then reflect back or something crazy like that. Like, it tends to go radially in all directions. This thing was just off the coast. Hard to say. A lot going on. Gonna jump into it. Music tomorrow. This isn't it, but music tomorrow. Doing a show. It was initially going to be different, by the way, and then as I started pulling music, it totally changed. But inspired by Linkin Park. I got a couple great Linkin Park songs. Bush, Candlebox. What do we got? We got some Train in there. Threw in a Goo Goo songs for fun. Lighthouse, Blink 182. We got kind of like skateboard rock music back in the day. I don't know. Not really grunge per se, but kind of in that same genre. I don't know. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's really good music. I got some great songs pulled. So if you want to join us live, it's at 3 o'clock Pacific time Friday or 6 o'clock Eastern, depending on where you live. But we do that Friday live, and it's always a lot of fun. If not, you should listen to it after. A lot of great music in those sets, and usually have a pretty good time while we're doing it. All said, yes. Let's get some news kicking off. Now, earthquake, as they would say. Let's see if I can refresh. Yeah, just make sure we've got everything up to date. Now, initially, they were calling it a 7.0. Then they upgraded it to a 7.3, but USGS is still showing it as a 7.0. Don't know. Been quite a cluster of earthquakes, so maybe that's part of the tsunami concern as well. Many are saying this is on the San Andreas fault. Maybe. I mean, up here is kind of, I don't know if it's this fault line, the northern one that's San Andreas, or if it's this one. The aftershocks are definitely off of the main fault, so that is not, there's a lot of sub-faults and little fractures when you look at them locally. And again, this is the San Andreas fault. I've actually driven across it. My grandpa lived out by the Salton Sea, and he had a pond. He went out with dowsing rods, believe it or not. It's kind of a crazy story. Dowsing rods, and literally pointed down, and he like drilled a hole, and friggin' water came out. It's like, okay, whatever. So he had tilapia and stuff. It was pretty cool. My grandpa was a cool dude. I guess he grew pot underneath his trailer, my mom told me years later, which I thought was super cool as well. I was like, I wish you would have told me that then. But anyway, my grandpa was a cool man. All said, you literally would drive across it, and it was 10-foot high ridge that literally you could just watch it go for miles. It was kind of cool. Kind of cool to literally drive across the San Andreas Fault. We used to always kind of get a little chuckle out of it. And that would honestly be one of the best places to be. If you had a major earthquake, like if it happened right there, it would be almost over immediately. And then the waves rippling out tend to get longer and longer. So, it's a weird experience. Earthquakes are a trip. Certainly been through plenty of them. Don't like them, not bragging, not happy about it. I guess Hawaii's a little active right now, too. This is interesting. That's all I can say. So tsunami warning is in effect all up and down the California coast, a little past San Francisco up into Oregon. Not huge because a lot of California faces away from where this area is. So, we're like southern facing kind of, if you will, southwestern. So we're probably not going to see anything down in my neck of the woods. And I'm also pretty far inland anyway. So this is, I don't know. That's a big ass earthquake. Whether it was a 7.3 or a 7.0, I mean, there's honestly a huge difference between the two of those, but both are ginormous. Let's just call it that. So a bunch of demonstrators, some weird crap going on at the Capitol today. We're going to cover two parts of it right here, the weird parts, and then I've actually got similar stuff, but it's he's actually the U.S. Secret Service gentleman is talking to Congress, and he shares some what the problems are and how they're going to resolve it. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But roughly 15 demonstrators were arrested in a House building Thursday amid a protest against Speaker Mike Johnson, his recent bathroom and facilities ban affecting transgender and non-binary people on Capitol Hill. And thank you, by the way, Mike Johnson, for doing that. Men that were born as men, You go into the bathroom that you were born as. Well, I don't care how you feel for the day. If you were born a dude and maybe you decided to change your mind somewhere down the road, totally cool, but you still got to go in the men's bathroom. Sorry. If you're wearing a dress, we'll probably get used to it as dudes, but when you pull your pantyhose down and literally use the urinal, you're going to feel a lot better. Trust me. It's designed for us. It's much simpler. So please, come on. Let's be happy for the progress we've made. But yeah, obviously there are a lot of people pissed off. Former soldier and U.S. Army whistleblower Chelsea Manning, I believe transgender too, I think, isn't he? Whatever. They were among the trans right protest people there, and many are wondering if this individual, Chelsea, got arrested as well. Because that would be kind of funny. So again, the way things are playing out, we're seeing things kind of come apart at the seams. Here's a perfect example of things coming apart at the seams. This was pretty frickin' crazy.
Special agent in charge of the detail. Were you the special agent in charge of the detail that day?
Actually, let me address this. Could you please, staff, leave that? Oh, no, leave that one up with the circle around me. Thank you. So actually, Congressman, what you're not seeing is the sack of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. Mm-hmm. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you if you were the special agent in charge.
To show respect for a Secret Service member that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you're trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question.
Please. You are out of line, Congressman.
Don't try to bully me. I am an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you are playing politics.
I am a public servant who has served this nation, and
you won't answer the question.
On our country's darkest day.
Committee will come to order. Committee will come to order.
I'm asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that day?
No, I wasn't. I was there representing the United States Secret Service, sir.
Mr. Fallon, your time's expired.
Did not affect protective operations.
You know why you were there? Because you wanted to be visible, because you are auditioning for this job.
I was there to pay respect for a fallen member of this agency.
You endangered President Biden's life, Vice President Harris's life, because you put those agents out of position.
Mr. Chairman.
You have a radio with you?
Mr. Fallon, your time has expired.
I did, sir, and you are out of line.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Please.
All right. And we are back in order now. We are back in order now.
Thank you.
Mr. Moskowitz, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, man. What a shit show. Love it. Absolutely love it. Folks, we're taking our country back. This is not going to go smoothly. No. Well, it's kind of reasonably so, but this is kind of, for a lot of people, they're going to call this good news, and probably is, I guess. I know a lot of people that got into Bitcoin, even down around 70, and I kind of thought they were nuts. Man, they're up a lot right now. But here's the thing. You're only up if you sell it, and then if you sell it, you get back into cash, and now what are you going to do? So it's kind of funny. You're hanging on to something that doesn't have any actual intrinsic, physical value or even use for that matter. I could melt this silver down, and there's a whole lot of things that silver can be used for. It's just a trip to me. It was kind of like a video game I was playing, and I was actually spending a little money, just beefing it up, getting better gear and stuff than others. And it dawned on me. I'm like, dude, you're literally spending money on nothing. It is the biggest waste of money. And I'm like, it's fun. And it's like, yeah, but you have fun doing a lot of other things too. And I was like, good point. So it's funny, but it's huge. It's up at $103,000 right now for a Bitcoin. That's awesome. Kudos to anybody that's got Bitcoin right now. You guys are probably stoked because no matter what, you likely got in recently. Now, anybody that's buying right now, I'm worried. Now, I think a lot of that, by the way, and this kind of important to point out, if I remember correctly, recently, the United States just took a bunch of Bitcoin and put it on one of the wallets, and it was like $1.8 billion worth of Bitcoin. It was like 1,800 Bitcoin. I'm kind of wondering how much of that actually caused a lot of these spikes, because that's a crap ton of money. cool that it's there, and like Donald Trump said, he's going to leave it. I mean, again, I'm not trying to besmirch at all. It's not like that at all. I still think it's a weird thing to buy, but it's one of the two investment vehicles right now that's actually performing extraordinarily well. Crypto's doing surprisingly well, Bitcoin especially, and precious metals are doing surprisingly well. Everything else is kind of sucking when you take inflation into it. Missouri bill is going to ban central bank digital currencies. It's going to make gold and silver actual legal tender. That's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if they're legally allowed to do that. Maybe they can. I don't know. States used to do their own money, and then that's kind of what one of the benefits of the Fed was trying to, or at least one of the things they sold us on was like, no, this will make it easier for everybody. Now, I guess this is the Haktua girl. Haktua, I think I'm saying that right. And I don't know. She kind of just, I always freak out about people that kind of rise up out of nowhere and become famous and then just all of a sudden are a presence. I know you can go viral and maybe it's just jealousy talking. I don't know. I've had to work so hard to get to where I am, but whatever. It's just, that's my journey. That's not their journey. But Haley Welch, I think Haktua, AKA, but she said copy pasting Hawkonomics. Team hasn't sold one token and not one KOL was given. One free token. We tried to stop snipers as best we could through high fees in the start of the launch, but fees have now been dropped. Well, then readers added context. They said the team and insiders have actually been selling their tokens since launch. A majority have never purchased anything and have only sold the tokens they were given. Haley is lying and will likely have to talk to a judge about this. That's pretty funny. Talk to a judge. Oh, so catchy, so funny. I hope AI wrote that because that was just funny. This is beautiful. Hegseth is holding strong. Didn't drop. Didn't fear. Didn't freak. Like Kavanaugh stuck through it and won. Like there's a number of these guys that have done it. And this is the game that the Democrats always play. And it's that smear campaign, right? And so this is a perfect little 2 minutes plus segment that kind of helps us understand it, and it gives Hegseth the floor for a moment.
That's their playbook. Get ready for more. And they're going to make it up, just like they have so far. All anonymous, all innuendo, all rumor, nothing sourced, no verification, and they're just going to keep doing it because you're a threat to them. You're a threat to their system. You're a threat to all the things in Washington, D.C., the swamp, the things that people have rejected. You're a threat to that. And so they're coming after you. And I know that. He knows that. And when you stand firm on that, it's not difficult to just continue to fight. So, yeah, we saw what happened, but guess what happened? Kavanaugh stood up, and he fought, and he won. And hopefully Republicans have learned that lesson.
And Trump stood by him.
And Trump stood by him. What you're seeing right now with me is the art of the smear. It is the classic art of the smear. Take whatever tiny kernels of truth, and there are tiny, tiny ones in there, and blow them up into a masquerade of a narrative about somebody that I am definitely not. And what they never quote, and we'll get into this too, are the legions of people from who I served with in combat, multiple tours, from the multiple veterans organizations that I very proudly ran, and I really want to get into that, and my time at Fox News. They never asked the people closest to me.
No.
They never asked the people who were involved directly. And when they do, and I've got a list right here of people, and Will Cain and my hosts at Fox News have come out, all the folks on Fox Friends have all come out and said, this is not Pete, and we've worked with Pete for 10 years, every single morning, every single day. They never ask those people.
Yeah.
And that's what a smear looks like.
And it's a diversionary tactic. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this. So they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic, and it's self-evident.
The fact that she brags about it is overwhelming to me. Overwhelming. And the fact that any Democrat can literally listen to that and go, yeah, That's why we do it. Yeah, that's what we do. It's like you guys literally make stuff up, then get the press to report the made up stuff so you can then continue to talk about the made up stuff like it's actually true. Because it was made up. How the fuck is that okay? Just blows my mind. Absolutely dumbfounds. I don't understand. Again, I don't understand how we can kill each other, but this is just so much further down to like, oh, really? This even? Frick. 0 Senate Republicans are opposing Pete Hegseth's confirmation, thus far anyways. But this is what we're hearing, that they've actually literally come together, which might be amazing in and of itself. That the senators that exist right now that are Republicans would actually approve him. Now, the ones that don't exist yet, they maybe won't. My guess is they're going to wait for approvals until day one of Trump's thing, and then they're going to try to push through as many of these as possible, however that needs to happen. Now, again, I would like, as long as it's legal, I don't care. But, I mean, again, there's a lot of people that talk some crazy different scenarios. One that I don't like the most is the military taking over, right? Like, I don't like the idea of martial law. That's just like, I feel like we fail hard if we go martial law. If we have to. That would really suck, though. Martial law for certain cities that are maybe rioting and burning, totally different story. I could see that happening, and I feel like that's probably more what that prophecy is. But, man, if as a country go martial law, oof, I don't think I'm going to support that. I'll tell you that much. There's no damn way. So anyway, yeah, we got 0 no's right now. We'll see. Obviously, the Democrats aren't going to approve him. There's probably 0 Democrats that would approve him. It's just part of the insanity, I think, at this point in time, right? Like, literally, like, we could let an entire Democrat party stop Trump from putting anybody he actually wants and only people that they approve. Otherwise, we'd never have anything, right? Now, again, that might be what happens. It has to happen. Again, we'll see. I don't know. But if that's the case, then I know we'll have that situation where the Congress is shut down, basically, and Trump's just going to push them all in, all the people he originally wanted, just every one of them. So we'll see. I expect this all to play out kind of crazy. This dude and Dr. Phil went down to the border doing some mad stuff. This guy's already hitting the ground running. I like that.
I'm here with Tom Homan. We've just landed in Arizona. We're headed to the border. We're going to talk to the guys and find out what's going on for real.
We're 47 days out for inauguration. We're not waiting. Game on today.
What do you think we're going to see?
I think we're going to see exactly what this administration has done to the most secure border in my lifetime. And we're going to develop plans today to help these sheriffs make their community safer and secure the border once again.
These are some brave men and women down here working hard, so we're going to hear what they have to say.
Is it just me, or is like I can't see the top of his head? It's like it's missing. It's so strange to me. It's so strange. Like I look there and it's like right around his forehead, it just disappears. It's like a green screen. It's weird.
Okay.
That's just for those of you that have a sense of humor and pay attention. Might not be many. I don't know. This is Senator Rick Scott talking about he just had a great meeting with Hegseth as well.
Good morning. So I just had a great meeting with Pete, the next Secretary of Defense. I'll tell you why I support him. I admire people that are willing to put on the uniform and lead troops into battle. I'm very proud of my father. He's one of 3,000 people that did all 4 combat jumps with the 82nd Airborne, and after that fought in the Battle of the Bulge. I'm very proud of him. Same way I'm proud of Pete. There's not a lot of Americans that have been willing to put on the uniform and have actually led troops in battle and brought them back safely, and knows people that lost their lives, knows people that are injured. When he goes to the Department of Defense, he'll walk in with the mentality that he's going to take care of our warfighters. He's going to make sure they have the right equipment and they're not put in harm's way when they shouldn't be put in harm's way. He's not going to support forever wars. He's not going to support going into battle where we don't even have a plan. So I think he's going to do a great job. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he's confirmed as the Secretary of Defense. I think we all have to really appreciate the people that are willing to put on the uniform and defend the freedom of this country. Thank you.
Dude's got 2 different colored eyes. Holy shiz. I never noticed that. 2 different colored eyes. This one's like brown and weird looking, and this one's all green and weird looking. It's probably a hybrid. It's funny. That's something that's been popping up in my purview lately, and it's like, That's weird, and here's an example, I think. But yeah, it's one thing to have hazel eyes, extraordinarily rare. It's just a small percentage of people have them. To have two different colored eyes, dude, that's like, that's, I don't even know what that is. That's what that is. That's what that is. So MSNBC, the guest, I guess, has said something that she shouldn't have. Olivia Troyer, I think she once worked in the Trump administration before becoming a fierce critic. Litigation will be filed against you if you fail to publicly retract defamatory statements you made about Mr. Patel on MSNBC on December 2nd, 2024, the letter reads. It accuses her of making several false and defamatory statements about Patel. During the MSNBC segment, Troyer called Patel a delusional liar and accused him of lying about intelligence. She accused him of making things up on operations to the point where he was accused of putting the lives of Navy SEALs at risk in an operation when it came to Nigeria. This is exactly the thing that Nancy Pelosi was talking about. And here's the reporters reporting on it. Now, again, they're getting busted on it, though. Troyer also accused Patel of misinforming Vice President Mike Pence. She claimed she would have to double-check his work so she did not pass on misinformation to the vice president while working for him as a special advisor during the Trump administration. The letter from Patel's lawyer called her criticisms of him a complete fabrication. At no point did Mr. Patel ever lie about national intelligence, place Navy SEALs' lives at risk, or misinform the vice president, the letter reads. The letter accused her of not only having knowledge of the falsity of this smear, but doing so with the malicious intent of degrading his character and of cynical self-promotion. The letter demanded she retract her remarks with a public statement on her X account within 5 days of receiving the letter. Unless the step is taken, Mr. Patel will take swift legal action to uphold his rights and reputation. It also directed her to preserve documents related to Patel, including emails, texts, and other electronic messages, recordings, voicemails, drafts, notes, communications, documents, data, and electronically stored information. Holy crap. All these things and more can be yours. But yeah, so they're trying to get confirmation of this. We'll see where it goes from here. I have a funny feeling she's not going to do it. But she says she stands by her statement. She goes, this aligns with the threats against the media and political opponents. All right. Yeah, okay. You're literally slandering someone with something that's made up, most likely. And yes, that's illegal. It's called libel, like slander. And especially when you're doing it when he's supposed to be appointed right now, there's unquestionably it's tied to that. And you also worked for someone that we know is a traitor. So this is pretty easy to figure out, and we will definitely get to the bottom of it. And much like you guys wanted to put Ms. Peters in jail there in Colorado, Tina, right? Put her in jail in Colorado for just stupid shit for a long time, by the way. Oh yeah, Olivia of Troyer, you will go down for your illegalities. And if you think you will be some sort of crusade for others, there's not enough of you guys out there. So you'll just go down. We'll see you soon in the news, sweetheart. And I look forward to that day. Lindsey Graham, who I still do not like, is at least saying something good and nice at this point.
Kash Patel, counterterrorism prosecutor, understands the government. And if the FBI doesn't need to be cleaned out, what does? So, yeah, he'll make it out of committee. I don't know if he'll get any Democrats, but I think he'll get all Republicans. I'm a big fan of his choice to be FBI director.
Yeah, so we'll see. I, of course, don't trust him at all. I've made no bones about that. This was posted, and actually, I think, just a good reminder. So Benny Johnson posted, investigative journalist Julie Kelly calls for pardon of all January 6 political prisoners. Quote, the entire process from beginning to end was rigged against these defendants, and that is the biggest argument why all J6, the defendants, should be pardoned. And there's dots in quotes, so I don't know where they cut it. They cut it. At least they're being fair to admit it. Now, much like Brian Cates, I do agree with Brian, and I think the statement, I just kind of want to preface it a little, all J6 defendants, well, some of those J6 defendants actually did attack police officers. Some of those J6 defendants, as Brian Cates will point out, are feds. Brian Cates says, no blanket, one-size-fits-all pardons for J6. Absolutely fucking not. Do not give the federal informants and agents provocateurs embedded in the crowd that day any fucking cover or protection from prosecution whatsoever. Do not be tricked into giving the FBI assets at the J6 a get-out-of-jail-free card. Wise up. All J6 pardons must be done on a case-by-case basis. Yes, but it'll take so long. It'll be pretty easy to thin out the ones that are probably okay. The ones that aren't inside or inciting or already known to be federal agents. Yeah, those people for sure get thinned out. If you're a federal agent and you are actually a provocateur, you go to jail with a double sentence, in my opinion. And I don't care. And then you either narc out the person above you and we'll take care of it that way, or you go to jail for double the time. I don't care. You did the crime, bud. You did the crime. You went against your country and your countrymen. Crazy stuff going on. I was just listening to a really interesting thing. Cliff High, Jordan Sather, they were kind of going into a crazy direction. It was interesting. I don't know. I like to watch crazy stuff sometimes because it's especially certain people that I like to hear what they're talking about. It was very interesting. But we were talking about gold and silver, and he was talking about some of the additional values of silver. I was like, oh, and his numbers are insane. Like, by the way, and I don't think that makes it right in any way. I mean, he might be. I don't know. I mean, again, I listen to people, and then I'm like, okay, we'll see, because that's crazy what they're saying. If things get that bad, and it's possible, that would mean really a collapse of the dollar. If that would happen, like if you're still in the stock market when things really start to get hairy, or when people really start to realize, or when the bank runs kind of start to happen, yeah, your like wealth is probably going to be toast. It's just one of those weird things. And if that doesn't happen, you're awesome. You're in the place you need to be. If you've got someone that can move quickly that's handling your stocks, you probably be okay, but still, I don't know. They've had issues with being able to sell a couple times when we had hard days. There was one not that long ago, like a couple months ago. And a lot of the trading apps, you couldn't log in and were like overwhelmed, or certain people accidentally get locked out. I don't know. But you guys know how the game's played, right? You know they don't want you to keep your wealth. They want us to eat bugs. They want us dependent on them. That's what they're still trying to do. And if not, they want to punish us. That's also something they're fond of doing. I don't like any of these things. Now, look, here's the thing. I know a great company that can help you get out of your IRA or 401k tax-free and penalty-free. They can get you out of it tax-free, penalty-free, not only efficiently, with great customer service, answer all your questions, but they actually get you into a precious metals IRA, which still allows you that kind of tax-free money, pre-tax money, if you will, if you want to keep paying into it, because you can. And they literally buy precious metals, physical metals, and they put it into your account every month. Just keep doing it month after month. It's pretty awesome. And maybe at some point when prices get to a point that they're really high, you kind of maybe stop putting into it for the time being, and you just kind of ride the wave you got. Who knows? It's up to you. You've got a lot of decisions, but you certainly want to get the information so you can make the right choice. Precious metals are spiking right now. Apparently, so are imaginary crypto coins, which is awesome too. I mean, I don't know of a way to go from a 401k or an IRA to crypto at the point right now. And if you cash out, you get hit hard with penalties, and then you get hit hard with taxes. That's why this is an awesome way to get out of their system into something that physically is valuable, tax-free, and penalty-free. Yeah, it's a really smart way to protect your wealth. And right now, the spiking of these two prices, well, silver and gold specifically, but platinum's in there, and there's a whole lot of metals. If you want to get creative, you can sell and buy all sorts of metals with these guys. I've never asked them to sell metals, by the way. I'm sure they could help. If you have questions about selling, please talk to them. But yeah, go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Their system, again, Gold Coast doesn't believe any of the crazy shit I say, right? I'm a partner, and I'm proud to be a partner with them, but they are there to do the thing they do, which is to help get you out of their system into precious metals. And they're extraordinarily good at it. So they don't think of the stuff I think, and certainly I want to keep that separation. It's just good for both sides, right? But we see what's going on. We see the writing on the wall. It's just a great company that can help you transition out of that deep state company, in my opinion, into precious metals. And it's an awesome experience. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com, up to 10% of the face value of your 401k or your IRA, up to 10%, free silver, just on top of, just handed to you. drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you. Jerry Nadler stepping aside so our pirate friend Raskin can become the House Judiciary Committee, the ranking member. So there's a little power structure going on, and Nadler just got booted because Nadler sucks. Everybody knows it. Nadler's just horrible. He's obviously fixed his one little place, but Democrats don't even like Nadler. Nadler's horrible. He's the Penguin, the original Penguin, the Danny DeVito one, right? Just disgusting little man. Disgusting little man. At least he seems to be. I don't know him that well. Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about the soon-to-be-fired census director, asking some interesting questions. I don't know. It's kind of worth 2 minutes.
As you've already told us, 8 states were overcounted in the 2020 census, 6 of which were blue states. 6 states were undercounted, 5 of which were red states. Mr. Santos, understanding that you were not the director yet in 2020, why do you think these miscounts happened?
The miscounts occurred just as a matter of course of any decennial census. No census has ever been perfect, but they've always been good enough for the purposes that they're intended. So this is simply how things shook out. There was absolutely no consideration of red, blue, purple, or whatever. We simply stuck to our mission to count, to do a complete count. We did our quality checks, and we published the data to the president.
And Mr. Santos, you've described yourself as a scientist today. Isn't it important to be accurate in your science, so to speak, and in counting? Also, there's an actual law, Sentencing Reform Act of 1984, that really is your job to fine people $5,000 for refusing to answer questions on the census. Was this a law that you enforced? Did you enforce this law in states that were overcounted and states that were undercounted after the census?
Yeah, we are a statistical agency, not an enforcement agency, so we've never enforced that.
So no one was fined. So there were overcounts, there were undercounts, and no one was fined according to the law, and the numbers shook out and were accepted. Many of my colleagues have brought up the fact that Article 1 of the Constitution requires a census every 10 years to determine how many congressional seats and electoral votes states receive. This is incredibly important. In Congress, with close party margins, this apportionment can be the difference between being in the majority and being in the minority. In tight presidential elections, thankfully this one wasn't tight at all. President Trump overwhelmingly won. But it can determine the winner, these apportionments can. In other words, the census is more than a mere survey of the demographics of the citizenry. It directly affects election integrity.
I'm just thinking to myself a lot of things. One, I would be so horrible at being a politician. But 2, Marjorie Taylor Greene's really, I feel like, come a long way. I've been very critical of her a few times because she's done some outrageous stuff. But most of the time she's pretty solid. She's pretty solid most of the time. I mean, that's like all of us, right? Most of the time we're all pretty good. Dan Scavino Jr. posted this. Interesting. Hearing from friends in D.C. that the United States Secret Service is making some moves at the top, spreading around some promotions to Biden's people before President-elect at Real Donald Trump and Vice President-elect at J.D. Vance take office at 12:01 p.m. Eastern Time on the 20th of January, 2025. We know what's up. Yeah, we see it happening, folks. It's okay. Don't you worry, winky face. Oh, he's half asleep, one of the two. Biden's White House is discussing preemptive pardons for those in the Trump crosshairs. This is kind of speculative a little, but there's supposedly people close to him, right? But this wouldn't surprise me that the deep state was trying to figure out all these different people that they could blanket pardon. There's huge concerns about what this is going to look like. they're probably going to do it. So we'll see. We'll see. There's been talk about it. I don't need to spend days and hours lamenting the point, but we'll see what happens. Whoopi, it's funny how the internet works, sweetheart. One, you used to be skinny. Two,
was contesting, and one of his most trusted advisors, Sean Hannity, suggested his next move should be pardoning himself and his family to stop the so-called witch hunt. I mean, I don't know that he even has the power to do that. What, does no one read? He's the president, the sitting president, and he can do whatever he wants to until his time is up.
Yeah, you get the point. And it's probably going to do that stupid noise that I hate from what is it, TikTok? DOJ briefed the committee on prosecutorial misconduct by special counsel Jack Smith's team. Chairman Jim Jordan demands the DOJ produce the requested documents and information. Quote, to date, despite several requests, you have refused to provide critical information about OPR's operations that would meaningfully advance the committee's oversight. The information that you have provided only reinforces our concerns that OPR acts more to protect department prosecutors than to root out prosecutorial misconduct. While we appreciate you confirming an open investigation into Jack Smith's prosecutors, we are concerned that your refusal to take prompt investigative steps will allow these attorneys to evade internal accountability by leaving the department. As we have explained, the briefing did not alleviate concerns about ORP's inquiry or satisfy the committee's informational needs. Accordingly, we again ask that you produce the requested documents and information as soon as possible, but not later than 10 a.m. on December 18th, 2024. Now, why can't they subpoena them? This is a question I'm asking. You should be asking it too. I have no idea. I'm sure some stupid procedural reason or something, but why? They continue to not give them to you, and they should, right? So subpoena them or do that thing you got. They're still going to ignore it, but at least now you've got legal ramifications, right? House Democrats pressured U.S. Capitol Police to provide special financial assistance and even a promotion to the officer who fatally shot unarmed protester Ashley Babbitt. Yeah, they literally pushed the Capitol Police to promote that dude to make him look better for what he did. Shot an American citizen, which again, that whole thing's crazy. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole right now. The Ashley Babbitt thing sucks on so many levels. There's so many weird components about that whole thing. And again, it's super sad. And I think the only person that actually died that day, or at least got shot, that's for sure, but I believe it was the only person that died that day. I think somebody else died later. I know the one officer, but it wasn't related. And I thought there was another person that died somehow, but I don't know. She's the only one. So yeah, they promoted him on purpose to make a point. They have been controlling the narrative forever. They're no longer doing it. It's just we're, I think, having a hard time finding our legs, man. I think it's kind of a lot of it. Iowa sues Biden administration to verify status of 2,000 registered voters who may be non-citizens. Iowa's literally suing the Biden administration. They're not giving them the information. It's like, we want information on the people that voted in the election that we just had, and the Biden administration won't. Now, again, the Trump administration will. The Trump administration will open up all of these investigations. The Trump administration, I think, wants us all to be able to trust this government again and to make this country great again. So yeah, Biden is suing. There you go. Joe Biden's massive legacy Joe Biden's massive legacy project in jeopardy as furious Democrat donors threaten to deny funding after Hunter Biden's pardon. There's actually a lot of Democrat donors that are like, no, we don't want to help pay for your stupid library now. Like what you did pardoning your son, especially when you said you wouldn't, and how bad that's making all the Democrats look right now, because every single Republican can easily say, well, you guys are hypocrites. Here's Joe Biden saying, oh, I won't pardon, I trust the system, blah, 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 blah. And then here's Joe Biden pardoning him. Yeah, but it's a father loving his son. Yeah, sure, whatever. But he said he wouldn't. He's still a father loving his son, I thought. Isn't it? Did that change somewhere in between there and here? Did I miss something? Thought that's probably was still accurate then and would be still accurate now, so that's probably not it. Right? It's on both sides of the equation for you math and science people. That's probably already accounted for. We're missing something else. And we definitely, I think, are less so than most, but yeah, we're all missing a little something. Here is a moment where Romney, I don't know if he's actually getting booed. I think he is. I almost feel like this was added to the video after, so I don't know, because he seems to roll through it without reacting, which is where I have a problem. That's why I was like, dude, that'd be tough to like not like look at it while you're reading your speech. It's like, okay, all right. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I'm curious what you guys think. Check it out.
Mark, for my colleagues, the departure soon from my service here in the Senate. There's some today who would tear at our unity, who would replace love with hate.
Yeah, so I don't think the booing actually occurred. I think this Green Lives Matter guy adds it. Whatever, that's fine. But yeah, supposedly this dude's leaving. I guess that's really the big takeaway is he's actually retiring. We're getting rid of Romney. That's a huge step forward, especially considering we got rid of his daughter as well. We are dismantling the deep state. It is happening. It will continue to happen over a number of months. And we're going to be playing a huge part in that, that's for sure. Senator Tuberville asks about the safety of food coloring. This is, again, RFK Jr., I love you, buddy. I can't wait till you get your job on.
The FDA has a position that food coloring like 40 are safe for kids' ingestion. Do both of you stand behind that, Dr. Caleb?
I'm going to refer that to Mr. Jones.
Okay.
We have not evaluated Red 40 in over a decade. Over a decade ago,
we have not.
We have not. At FDA, we have not evaluated the safety of Red 40 in over a decade. So over a decade, that was the conclusion that FDA made.
But we have evaluated. We are in the process of evaluating Red 3, and you may want to comment on that.
Well, right. let me say this: Red 3 has been known to cause cancer in cosmetics, but we still allow it to be put in our food. I don't understand that. Go ahead.
So Red 3, we have a petition in front of us to revoke the authorization for it, and we are hopeful that within the next few weeks we will be acting on that petition, and a decision should be forthcoming.
Tell us that process. How does that work? The timeline. If we know something's deadly for anybody that ingests it, how do we continue to just study that and not say, hey, enough's enough?
So Red 3 presents an interesting example for us. It is actually known to be cancer in laboratory animals, rats, but the scientific consensus is that the mechanism of carcinogenicity in rats is not applicable in humans. However, under the FFDCA, which is the law that we implement, any chemical that is shown to be carcinogenic in animals or humans, or should I say humans or animals, cannot be authorized by FDA. It's called the Delaney Clause. And so even though we don't believe there is a risk to humans under the Delaney Clause of the FFDCA, red dye, because it is known to cause cancer in laboratory animals, should not be authorized. And so that is what has been challenged FDA for many years, is how to manage around the Delaney Clause, where you have a scenario where, although there may be cancer evidence in animals, there is also evidence that is not harmful to humans. There's
evidence that it needs quantities that are higher in humans typically too. I will say I like his answer in the fact that it didn't as much sound deflective to me as talking around the bureaucracy bullshit that exists within the government. Again, Doge is going to help with this. Kennedy's going to help just bringing attention to the fact that this is bad, it's carcinogen. Here's case study after case study. No, you're out. We're getting rid of it now. It's banned immediately. Any company using it after 1 month is, will be fined or something. I don't know how that works exactly, but we'll assume no. That's a funny thing. Kid Rock posted this, and I love it. On the left is the former vice president of Monsanto, a company that poisons everything you consume. On the right is the current deputy commissioner of the FDA, an agency that protects you from companies like Monsanto. This is legal. Now, for those of you that are listening, not watching, it's the same dude in both pictures. The guy from Monsanto became the dude that was supposed to protect you from Monsanto at FDA. Welcome to the way the game's played. They do this in the military industrial complex. This is why Lindsey Graham's the way Lindsey Graham is, because Lindsey Graham's got a cushy board job when he's done with politics, no matter what. Multiple board jobs, probably. The dude's going to be making money hand over fist, and he'll probably literally work 5 hours a year. If they do it right, it'll be on the same day. Just zoom in. Republicans unveiled a new bill that will give Donald Trump's DOJ agency tools and clear direction to hit the ground running. Elon was there with his kid X, which is interesting. Names the program after his child. How strange. Kind of kidding with the strange. I mean, it's like, who wouldn't do that? But who would name his kid X? I think that's really the question. Anyway, Mike Johnson, I think, says something, kind of, sort of.
You take a question, Mr. Musk.
Welcome, everybody. What? We're all excited. I know you're all excited that.
Really? That's your recording? That's horrible. That is a horrible ass recording. Whatever. Yeah, Trump apparently tapped Elon Musk and Vivek to dismantle the $6.5 trillion bloated U.S. bureaucracy. This is going to make things so much less expensive. Yes, there's going to be a bunch of jobs. We are going to have to do something with job training, job placement, job creation. If we get more of these factories back and other sorts of jobs, there should be all sorts of stuff too there. I don't exactly know how we do that, but we still got to just get rid of government. Even if we got to pay these people salaries for an additional 6 months to give them time to find a job, that's still better than having the bureaucracy in place and causing more harm than good, right? That's far cheaper in that regards, right? So either way, however we get from A to B, let's try to be nice to those fellow citizens that are going to be going through pain. Acting director of the Secret Service talks about their failures. Now, this is not, I don't believe, hopefully, not another fight. I think he had his composure at this moment. But I kind of like the fact that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, whatever. He's the dude that assumed control. Maybe he was a good guy, maybe not. But I like the fact that he's feisty. I think that's kind of fun. Anyway, here's him admitting their fault.
July 13th was a failure of the Secret Service to adequately secure the Butler Farm Show site and protect President-elect Trump. That abject failure underscored critical gaps in Secret Service operations, and I recognize that we did not meet the expectations of the American public, Congress, and our protectees. And they rightly have that idea based on how we performed. President-elect Trump was wounded. A cowardly and despicable act killed one person and critically injured two others. And I join you and all Americans in condemning the horrific assault on President-elect Trump, Corey Comparator, James Copenhaver, and David Dutch. And I extend my deepest sympathies to the Comparator family. Since becoming acting director, I've worked tirelessly to address what I believe are shared goals with the task force, to understand what went wrong on the day of the attempted assassination, to ensure accountability, to prevent such a failure from ever happening again. The recently completed mission assurance inquiry thoroughly investigated the specific actions and inactions that led to the assassination attempt. 4 areas of deficiencies were identified: communications, protective advance processes, command and control processes, and coordination with external entities. The mission assurance inquiry identified failures by multiple employees that warrant disciplinary action. The quality of the advance work and preparation for the Butler Farm Show visit absolutely did not meet the expected standards of this agency. Let me be clear. There will be accountability, and that accountability is occurring. It is an extensive review that requires time to ensure due process. And the pace of this process, quite frankly, it does frustrate me. But it is essential that we recognize the gravity of our failure. I personally carry the weight of knowing that we almost lost a protectee, and our failure cost a father and husband his life.
Just like the bangs, bud. Looks good. Looks good, buddy. No, it really does. Don't you guys think? His bangs look just spot on. Really, just... Do you use like some sort of gel or product for that? I'm wondering. Yeah, you guys fucked up. Duh. Now, again, it wasn't his fuck up. He was second in command. Hopefully he was screaming quietly into a pillow at night because of the boss he had that was a DEI hire. Who knows? Maybe this dude's a good guy. We'll see. I'm not able to make that assessment. I really, honestly. Village People founder. It's kind of funny. He actually is, and apparently it's the motorcycle cop one. If any of you were wondering who was the founding member of the Village People, it would have in fact been the cops, the popo, the black police officer. It's just kind of funny. All said, he said literally they had been approached about the fact that Trump kept using YMCA. And they were like, that's got to piss you guys off, right? And he's, it's actually like kind of funny. He loves the song, it seems. This is his words, basically. He loves the song. So it seemed to get people happy, and they were using it in a positive way. So they're like, nah, we kind of dug it. And he goes, besides, if he wanted us to perform before, we would have said, nah, just not a good idea, whatever, right? But now, since their song is on the number one list, it's been number one for a little bit, and it's still number one right now, as he's saying. He's like, we probably would consider getting the band back together. Probably talk to a few of the members, and you're like, dude, seriously, you're the one that wasn't wearing a shirt, so you need to lose like 70 pounds in about 3 weeks. Get on it. We'll talk to you. But yeah, kind of funny. I don't know. Fun little story. Oh, shit. Skip some Trump stuff. We need that. President Trump is officially making moves to remove the RICO indictment in Georgia, citing his incoming status as the 47th president. So trying to get that whole thing dropped as well. A RICO case against him. This is just going to be such a journey. God, anyway, it's good for business, I guess one could say, especially with some of the bumps we got coming, folks. I just don't know when. And it's cool. It feels like it's getting dragged on further than I thought it would be, so it gives people a chance. But we're already seeing the spikes in the prices. That's just silver, gold, way up. Crypto, way up. Prices of food, way up. Folks, seriously. If you can live on what you got, and eventually we're all going to get to a point where it'll be impossible. But having that nest egg, like, protected, DRS likes gold. I'm just telling you. President Trump will participate in his first network interview since the election. It's going to be on NBC, not MSNBC, not ABC, not CBS. Not CNN even, but it would have been possible. But NBC. It's going to be on with Kristen Welker. I guess it's called Meet the Press. I remember the show. I've heard of the show. Eons since I've ever watched it. Certainly don't know who the hell Kristen is. Maybe I've seen her. She looks vaguely familiar, whatever. She's going to, I guess, interview Trump on Friday, and then they'll put it out. So that should be fun. I don't know. We'll see what cuts come out of that, and if they try to pin him into a hole, because that's just going to make us hate NBC. NBC, just understand that. You got a big moment here to make sure, one, you try to satisfy your audience. I get that. That's your number one thing. But two, you piss off our audience real bad, and you're probably still going to be in a bad place. You just probably are. Jeff Bezos is actually very optimistic about Trump 2.0. It's just too many regulations. He's got some other problems with Trump and whatnot, but he's pretty excited about the idea of it becoming easier to. I know a couple people. I've heard stories anyway, locally around here, of people that work at Amazon, and I hear they are worked very, very hard. Now, he's spent a lot of money on automation. He's actually got robots in there that probably would run people over. I'm surprised there's not more stories of people getting run over by the robots, but they are a admirably well-oiled machine. I worked at UPS for a period of time. I loaded, I was preload is what they called us, but I loaded the brown trucks. I had 4 trucks I was responsible for. I just lucked out and got that position. Normally you unload as your first job. I actually got lucky. All said, hardest damn job ever. And just the conveyor system that they had, even back then, it was just impressive. And I'm sure it's even better now. So yeah, this technology is crazy. All said, I hear they expect a lot from you if you work for the company. A lot. Maybe the drivers get a little bit more leniency. I'm not sure. But yeah, all said. Hulk Hogan says that Trump may nominate him for leadership position. I think he might be on that list of people that that were voted in, like Dr. Sala, Michael Sala. He's awesome. I love the dude. He talks a lot about like UFO type stuff and all that, and very good. So one of the people I pay attention to. He's just, I know his heart's in the right place. I don't know, like, whatever. I like him a lot. I like what he talks about. All said, he's on that list too. So there's a lot of people on this list. So yeah, maybe Hulk Hogan. I don't know if there's ever a time where we need somebody to run into the room and tear their shirt off. Hulk, you're the dude. There's unquestionably, you're the guy we're going to bring in. I'm telling you, nobody else can do it like you, buddy. TWC, the Wellness Company. Love these guys. TWC.health/OTF. That's TWC.health/OTF. Great supplement line. A couple of the big ones are these spike formulas, by the way. These have to do with if you've got any of the spikies, you sleeve rolled, you maybe got somebody that's directly near you all the time that's sleeve rolled, maybe you work in a hospital. This is just a good way to make sure that you help get these types of spikes out of your body. I highly recommend it. It's very good stuff, and it's just a lot of natural ingredients too on top of everything else. These guys, Dr. Drew Pinsky, Dr. McCullough, these guys kind of know what they're doing. So again, you're doing it all legally. Well, this is supplements. This is totally cool. We've got other med kits that I want to talk about here in a sec. But these supplement lines are amazing, especially the ones for the spike support. But they've also got stuff for longevity, restful sleep, healthy heart, elevated energy, bone and joint support. Like literally, they got so much cool stuff. Like literally come and check out. And they got kids stuff too, of course. Go to twc.health/OTF. Yes, you're definitely helping the channel. And you're helping your family, helping yourself. And these kits are what are incredible. What the hell? Field emergency kit? Never even heard of this one. That's stupid expensive. I'm not recommending you buy it, but I'm just going to check it out really quick because what the hell? It's not an emergency if you're prepared. That's true. So you're equipped to handle over 60 life-threatening medical conditions. Each kit ships in an IP67 rated dust-proof, waterproof case for the most extreme scenarios. One adult patient it'll specified for. I don't exactly know. Wow. A whole bunch of crap that it can help you with. We got penicillin. We've got erythromycin. We've got cephalexin, doxycycline. Holy crap, man. More antibiotics. They got a whole bunch of antibiotics in here. Anti-malarial. Wow. They've got the ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. Wow, that's got everything in it. Damn. Really? This is crazy. Antiviral other med here, valacyclovir, generic Valtrix. This is another antiviral. That's not even one that we typically talk about right now. That's very interesting. They got stuff, what is this? Commonly used to receive muscle spasms associated with acute musculoskeletal, whatever. Benzocaine for teeth. Wow. It's got so much cool stuff. It's got an EpiPen. Oh, okay, that's a big part of the price right there. Hello. The glucose SOS system. They've got, wow, so a lot of really powerful stuff. I'd never actually looked at this kit before. I'm not necessarily trying to push it on you guys, but if a lot of those things made sense to you, this is actually probably the kit to get. I like the contagion kits, usually the one I talk about, which is significantly less expensive, $324 compared to $1,100. Damn. But it's got ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. It's got the azithromycin. It's also got Tamiflu and Pulmicort, which also works as asthma medication or just opens up the upper airwaves. And they've got the nebulizer that goes with it. And you get 5 of those vials. So it's very, very cool stuff. So again, all twc.health/OTF, twc.health/OTF. Number of life-saving things here that you need to have. And you've also got med kits for travel, emergencies, medical. I highly check it out. I would seriously check it out, especially if you've got a family or anybody you're worried about, or if you're worried about the crazy viral stuff that are coming around. This is done legally. You're actually probably getting a prescription because I think up to 2 years you can actually get a refill. If you use this, say you get one of them, it's supposed to be per person, but say you and a wife, right? And one of you gets sick, or maybe you both get sick and you guys kind of share it, you can refill it for a less price, by the way. You can do a refill up to 2 years. So that's kind of cool too. Go to twc.health/OTF. That's twc.health/OTF. Make that big step, protect yourself, because obviously nobody else is taking care of anybody but you, right? France's government's collapsing after losing no confidence vote in parliament. This is the end of Trudeau, is what it sounds like. Again, I don't want to pretend I understand the stupid, crazy elections and whatnot that happen in England and France and all this nonsense in Europe, basically. It's weird over there. Normal to them, weird to us, whatever. The far left, France, unbowed party calls for Macron to resign. Speaking on TF1 television, Le Pen says that France's institutions are rock solid and will allow the country to move ahead. All the catastrophe scenarios that we've heard about recently will become old fast, she said, reiterating that Macron is to blame for the situation. This budget was toxic for the French, and the only dignified solution was to oppose it, Le Pen said. They're done with Macron. Very powerful. Syrian insurgents capture central city of Hama in severe setback to the Syrian president Syrian President Bashar Assad, who's, I think, deep state because he's about to get overthrown. Big time. The Syrian insurgents, as we call them, so they're probably good guys, are taking over the country. And this is after the odd attacks that Israel did. They probably weakened the deep state, weakened Hamas and Hezbollah, which are terrorist organizations. And so now this insurgency is happening. Looks like Israel might have made this possible. I don't know. Some crazy stuff's going on. We'll see if we can keep tabs on it as we move forward. At least 8 U.S. telecom companies have been compromised in this Chinese hack. Apparently, this Chinese hack's been going on for about 2 years. Also, China is very heavily suspected to be involved with all these drone sightings that are happening over military installations as well. So China is essentially attacking us currently, or heavily spying on us. And the Biden administration has been doing nothing, and they're getting the last of their information that they can, because the second Trump's in charge, you know that shit's going to stop. You know that shit's going to stop. This is going to get interesting. I'm so happy to be alive now. This is cool. I waited a long time for this. China is telling all of its people in Syria to get the F out, get the GTFO. They probably say it differently. There's probably Chinese characters or something that equal the same thing as GTFO, or it looks like that freeway sign on the here, at least down by San Diego, that shows like a family holding hands crossing the freeway. It's like beware of running families, which they are down there. And yeah, you got to be careful. You don't want to hit them. That's like cruel, right? So yeah, all said. Craziness. OpenAI is partnering with a weapons startup company, Anduril, on military AI. It kind of trips me out that a startup company is going to work with OpenAI's founder and create this new thing. It might be legit. This might be like the right kind of thing happening. I mean, that's a way this could go. I have like my trust levels are so poor right now that it's hard for me to trust people or anything. But we'll see. Again, we'll pay tabs. OpenAI, they tried to steal this dude's work, and he was originally open source, and they hated that because he was giving way too much power away to the regular person. So the deep state got involved with trying to stop him, and the fact that he's being used now. Anduril could very well be a deep state company too. I don't know enough about them. They're a startup, which is a little freaky. I'd have to look to see who's financing and funding. Conservative filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza has issued an apology, or D'Souza, as Dave says on X22. That used to drive me batshit crazy. I'd be like, it's D'Souza, dude. Come on, man. It's like I even get names wrong, and I would say that. I'd be like, Dave, I even fuck names up all the time. Come on, man. This is one you should get. But D'Souza said some of the video footage that appears in the film, which shows ballot harvesting, is misleading. Interesting. It's a bummer, too, by the way, because that 2,000 Mules video did a lot, and D'Souza made a lot of money, and good for him, by the way. Got a lot of exposure, became very famous. But that one section, not the whole thing, just that one section, I guess they were showing some videos, and these videos weren't actually part of the geolocation data. They thought it was. They assumed it was. It wasn't, in fact. So, yeah, they've kind of gotten in trouble. They've had to apologize for that. So I'm just trying to report all the stuff that I find that's, worth bringing up. OMG investigates FEMA. He's doing a big, long thing, but FEMA doesn't want these people. North Carolina residents still stranded as FEMA fails to deliver aid after Hurricane Helene. I watched this. I think this ended up in here more by accident, but I watched this. I was going to say a super ridiculously rude remark about the lady that first walks in, and I'm not going to show her because I feel like that's super mean. So it's easier if I just talk about a fictional person. And the fictional person that I'm talking about is wearing this like thing around her, and it says Tyvek. Isn't Tyvek that like the shit they wrap in houses and stuff like that, right? Like she's wrapped in a house wrap is like what I saw. I might be wrong on Tyvek. I feel like I've seen houses and it's like the thing that when they're building them. Anyway, and I just thought it was hilarious, and she was a big girl, and so they dressed her in house wrapping. But anyways, FEMA's being shitty. That's the story, and so it was a fictional person. So it's not a real person, so I'm not actually hurting anybody's feelings per se. Unless you know, I've seen the video, then you're like, Dan, that's pretty true. She's a big girl. Their area was completely devastated. One Hurricane Helene victim in western North Carolina shared describing the extent of the flooding during the storm. You can see, the river's quite away. Oh, this might be her. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Anyway, these people are still getting dogged by FEMA. They're not getting their money. She was supposed to get like $47,000 for her house, and still hasn't happened. So still has no movement forward in any way, shape, or form. This United Healthcare shooting thing is kind of a trip. There's a little bit of extra info that's come out. Everyone's playing the video. I don't know why it's okay to play it, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and play it. It shows the shooter shooting the dude, which normally you're not allowed to do that. So I guess if I warn you guys, right? But anyway, we know who the shooter is now. It's this dude. We got a couple other pictures of him. The thing that's really strange about this video is, one, he just like the dude that gets shot just walks right past the camera. He immediately comes out, immediately points out both, shoots. I don't know if the first one's the one that got him in the calf, because he got shot in the calf and in the back or something like that, and then it looks like he shot him a third time. So that happened, but the gun seems to be extraordinarily long. Many people are suggesting it's probably got a silencer on it, quite possible. He also could be possibly using subsonic rounds along with that, because he has to cycle his gun manually every time. So shoots, has to cycle manually, shoots again, and almost seems like he doesn't understand why he's having to do this manually. But subsonic rounds, many say, could cause that as well. There's not quite as much power to cycle a gun, plus the fact that you're possibly using a suppressor. Whatever the case was, shot the dude twice, like once in the calf, once in the back, and then literally shoots him again a third time. Now, what's super weird about it is the fact that he literally did make 3 shots. This is the dude that got shot, by the way, 3 times, or at least the guy fired 3 times. He wrote stuff on the shells, on the casings. Now, people are saying the bullets. He wrote on the bullets. No, did not. He wrote on the casing, which for anyone that shoots, you guys are like, yeah, of course. For people that are idiots, it's like, it's the bullet, right? No. Bullet's the thing that shoots out of the gun. The casing's the thing that usually just goes shooting into someone's shirt if they're standing next to you. That sucks. But he wrote deny, depose, and defend. 3 separate words on 3 separate casings. The 3 casings that were left intentionally there. Now everybody's like, well, this guy obviously wasn't professional. One, he showed his face. Some are saying it's this girl. I think it's just an effeminate dude, but whatever the case is, could be a girl. Who knows? Professional wouldn't allow their face to be shown. Professional wouldn't be doing it quite like this. I agree. But what a professional technically is somebody who accepts money for a job. That's a professional. Didn't say they were a good professional, right? That's why some contractors you never use again and others you like. So this idea that he wasn't a professional is stupid. He probably was paid. He's an idiot. And that would make him a patsy likely, or I don't know. I don't know who likely put a hit on this CEO. Now, we do know a little bit about it, which is funny, if you will. So the CEO, Brian Thompson's murder, suggesting to other executives that maybe they might be targeted. And what we're finding out is the insurance agencies are doing some pretty messed up stuff right now. One thing, anesthesia. If a procedure goes longer than what your procedure is supposed to be, right? Say you're getting some vein worked on in your heart, or I don't know, just trying to make something crazy, and then maybe a complication arises, and then you got to go longer. They're like, no, we're only going to pay for the anesthesia for the allotted time of the job you're doing that you said you were going to do. We will not pay for any additional anesthesia. Well, anesthesia is extraordinarily expensive. Extraordinarily expensive. And so this is the insurance companies not wanting to pay for stuff because they want to make profit. It's all about profit. It's not about a place where money's put in so in case you ever need it, it's there for you. No, and that's the thing we're finding out is they don't actually pay. In a lot of cases, they go out of their way to either delay or never pay. So there's a number of people that are concerned right now. And this Taylor Lorenz chick is saying some stupid illegal stuff. I don't know what the hell she's doing. She's nuts. Obviously, we all know that. But now she's actually saying crazy stuff about this Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, the CEO, Kim A. Keck. And this chick's literally talking about how we need to potentially threaten other CEOs. Her words. And people wonder why we want these executives dead, Lorenz wrote hours later. She's literally talking a bunch about it, and she gets further into it. I don't know if I can find the quote. People have very justified hatred towards insurance company CEOs because these executives are responsible for an unfathomable amount of death and suffering. As someone against death and suffering, I think it's good to call out this broken system and the people in power who enable it. He will be shown the same empathy he showed for others every single day. She's... My insurance will neither cover monoclonal antibodies to prevent COVID or sufficient Paxlovid treated. Something else. It's just, I don't want to read her exact. I'm not reading the worst part where she literally almost says, do we have to actually hope for death of these people? And it was just, or something to that effect. It was just like, wow. I mean, again, I get some people feel like that. So yeah, we got some pretty solid images of this individual. Obviously not very good. Looks to be Latin American to me, frankly. I'm just going to tell you that. I'll say that. Looks to be a little Latin American to me. Definitely got features like that. It's got a larger nose, but that's not uncommon. Not at all. So I don't know. That's my guess. Author Jay Feynman refuses to address the whole deny, defend, depose message found on the United Healthcare Killers bullets. And this is where they say bullets. It's not bullets. It was the casings. You're an idiot, Daily Mail. You're an idiot. And they intentionally do it. They say stupid stuff because they're stupid. People that wrote this. Who's the individual? By Will Potter. Idiot. Oh, and James Reynolds. Also idiot. Both idiots. All said. Author Jay Feynman responded no comment when asked for his take on the bullet casings left at the scene. There we go. He finally gets it right. Shooting outside. And again, see how they lie right here? Here they lie. It's a lie. The bullet. Right? Here they literally lie in the headline, and then down here they actually say the truth. Bullet casings. I fucking hate the media drives me insane. The lying is so, and it works. It works. I can't even tell you how many people have told me this is what, Dan, you want to have a successful channel, here's what you need to do. It's like, I know. I'm intentionally not doing that, which almost makes me unique. It's kind of funny. Everybody's doing it. The message is eerily similar to Feynman's 2010 book, Delay, Deny, Defend. So almost the exact same thing. Deny, defend, depose, delay, deny, defend. So yeah, many people are wondering, hey, that's weird. Do you think maybe he's read your books? Who knows? Maybe it's an inside thing too, because you know how they do weird stuff like that. Tori says, hey, at FBI, so witness protection failed or fake shootings to protect him? I mean, it was a crime scene where they were walking all over it. The gates on the shooter is very familiar according to the Israeli open source software we have. You are losing your touch. She's calling out who it was. FBI, huh? The way he walked. So yeah, we know, I think, more than they're letting on. And it didn't, well, I don't know. It's going to get called out. Jurors broke on the Daniel Penny's first day of deliberating. They have not, they rewatched a bunch of stuff, but they haven't come to any conclusions. So yeah, that's at least happening. 2 European satellites launched to create an artificial solar eclipse in tech demo. This at first, when I saw this, I was like, what? They're going to create an eclipse on our planet? F these people. I can't believe this is legal. Like, this is ridiculous. Now, what they're actually going to do is create an eclipse on each other. And what they're doing it for is so the one can study the sun and have something kind of block the sun and they can get like different angles from it. Because right now we've got 2 observatories, like before the Earth and after the Earth. I think it's 2 Lagrange points we've got them parked in, frankly. But all said, this would be another kind of thing that either is moving and trying to study the sun while going around it, but they want to understand the outer, I forget the heliosphere part, the outer part of the sun, and see if they can figure some stuff out and learn some stuff. You know, the thing that's right 93 million miles away, and we claim to know so much about everything. We don't seem to. Very strange story. I don't know. Just thought I'd share it. Actress, 33-year-old, she died after consuming frog venom at a spiritual cleansing retreat in Mexico. So it was down in Mexico, I guess. Where was this city? I was asking somebody if it was a place they knew about. But yeah, they were down in Durango, state of Durango, and they're launching an investigation into the death. And there's some shaman, I guess, that was running the retreat. But yeah, they literally, yeah, it's just kind of a weird story. But yeah, she got pretty ill from it, which you normally do, and it got so bad they eventually took her to Red Cross, and she just died there, which is not cool at all, but it does happen. I want to remind you guys of some great merch and a chance to get onto the video. We make videos with you guys and your pictures, kind of like We Know, except he's got himself a lot more merch than I do, and he's like way better at production, but I do a decent little rendition, a cool little song in the background, and your picture if you buy one of these products and send us a picture from the email that you get. Once you make the purchase, you'll get an email that says, hey, here's confirmation or whatever, and then respond to that email and with the picture when you've got it, and life will be groovy. And so we got a lot of really, really cool stuff. We got obviously the Dan Radio Style collection, and very beautiful people wearing the collection, making it look even better in my opinion. The hat, I'm wearing mine right now, and yeah, super cool. It's got my DRS logo on it. And yeah, a lot of good stuff going on. So we actually sold through our first batch of hats. We had to order some more. It's pretty cool. So apparently the hats are a little bit exciting. We can get the tumblers and everything else too. Some really, really groovy stuff. And obviously it looks good with firearms. We can see that on the pictures. So those are always good. And there is 3 others that are super, super cool. We've got the 911, never forget 911. There's some cool stuff on the back. A lot of, whoops, not that. A lot of wording. If I clicked off it, I guess we'll try to do this properly. Here it is. Yeah, so a whole lot of kind of, you know, reminding people if you're standing in line someplace, you know, kind of reminds you what's going on. So we got 9/11, we've got that covered. We've got the 6/11, the Ephesians, put on your armor of God, and that was, of course, when Trump got shot on July 13th. We've got one for that whole fight thing. Kind of a cool shirt, a lot of good stuff on the back. And then the 5G warfare, talking about the 5 different generations of warfare. And so the back of it's got first generation, second generation, third, and it's got, you know, a little sentence basically, or a little, you know, phrase kind of explaining what that is. And it's just one of those things that's really fun to kind of inform people while you're out and about, if you will. Or just trying to represent the channel. Either way, try to send us pictures too. We love that. Go to truththread.shop. That's truththread.shop. Get some good stuff, helping out a family that's making merch for the channel, and you're, of course, helping the channel out. A lot of good stuff for everybody. That said, we've got a lot to continue fighting for, folks, and I do not think we're even close to past the, I don't know, the trickier parts. I felt like the election was a big one, so I just feel like we've got some humps coming, bumps or something. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be exciting times, and we are changing the world. So from these things, we shall come like a new butterfly, right? We'll come out of this looking and smelling rosy. I don't know if butterflies smell like roses. I doubt it, unless they've been in one. But also, we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to be there with every step of the way. I'll be there right next to you, shoulder to shoulder. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.